At 5 players the Indiana Fever could end up drafting in the WNBA draft.
The Indiana Fever is on the verge of making a decision that could redefine everything. With the 8th pick in the 2025 draft, they're eyeing 5 players who could either be their savior or their biggest regret. As we know, the Fever underperformed last season. Sure, they made it to the playoffs for the first time in 6 years, but their early struggles were glaring. With a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, they could have achieved much more and gone further. But now, the Fever is assembling key pieces to propel themselves toward a potential championship. First, they brought in a sharp mind like Kelly Kroskoff, who is all about making calculated moves to improve the team's future. I'm a lifelong learner. I love the game. It's in my DNA. Everything about running a team, managing a basketball program. This is who I am. It's my passion, and being able to leverage my experience, having been embedded with Kevin Pritchard and Chad Buchanan in those daily meetings, talking about building the roster, it's very similar to what I did for 18 years. Secondly, they hired a new coach, Stephanie White, who is simply exceptional. Not only was she an outstanding player, but she's also committed to building around Caitlin Clark, something the former coach, Christy Sides, unfortunately, failed to prioritize. When you're building teams, it's not just about getting the best players. It's about finding the best complement of players who fit well together, bring out the best in one another, and align with the culture of the Indiana Fever. Connected teams are winning teams, and I truly believe that in my heart. Everything seems in place for the 2025 season, but all eyes are on draft day, April 15, 2024. It's the day we'll see which player might fall to the 8th pick and potentially alter the Fever's future. All of this, however, hinges on one major assumption. Losing Kelsey Mitchell, a cornerstone of the Fever, would be devastating and a monumental challenge for the team moving forward. If they lose her, the Fever is in big trouble. It would be like taking the engine out of a race car. This draft pick isn't just important, it's make or break. Are you ready to see who they might select? Now, picture this. Adzi Food steps onto the court, and the crowd collectively holds its breath. Remember when she was the talk of college basketball? Those days feel like a distant memory now. Food stormed into UConn with a high school career that had scouts raving. But fast forward to today, and she's one of the biggest question marks in this draft. If she enters this draft, it's hard to see her going in the first round. But if she can stay healthy, she might turn into a brilliant pick. Let's break it down. Adzi Fudd has played only 48 games in her college career, despite being a senior. Over the past 2 years, she's been on the court for just 23 games. That's not just unusual, it's a massive red flag. Her shooting, once her greatest strength, has taken a nosedive, from 34% from three-point range during her freshman year to a measly 28% recently, and her scoring, stuck at just 8.3 points per game. If the Fever picks Fudd, they're rolling the dice. They'd be betting on a player who's missed more games than she's played, a risky move for a team desperate for momentum. But wait, there's another name. Aja Sivka, at 6'4", she's a deadly shooter and solid defender. Exactly what the Fever needs. However, Sivka won't be eligible to play in the WNBA until 2026, meaning Indiana would have to wait 3 years to see her on the court. Pairing Sivka with Caitlin Clark could be a dream come true, but can the Fever afford to wait? Then there's Sonia Citron, climbing draft boards with a steady hand and improving stats. She's shooting 36% from 3, averaging 14.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. Her defensive prowess and versatility have drawn comparisons to Lexi Hull, with some saying she might be even better. For a team like the Fever, Citron could provide stability and consistency, especially if Kelsey Mitchell leaves. Jania Barker and Anissa Morrow also bring intriguing strengths. Barker's athleticism and defense are stellar, but her three-point shooting, at just 18% this year, is a concern. Meanwhile, Morrow's dominance in the paint, with 18.3 points and 14 rebounds per game, comes with a drawback: she doesn't shoot threes at all. So here we are, Fever fans. The future of your team hinges on this draft pick. It's not just another addition to the roster, It's the difference between climbing out of the basement or sinking even deeper. Can the Fever find their next star? Or will they miss their chance and regret it for years to come? What do you think? Who should Indiana select to turn their fortunes around? This decision could shape the franchise for the next decade. Share your thoughts in the comments below.